Welcome to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney, and action from Marvel to DC, from Star Wars to Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and Furious. We will review the theatrical films and streaming delights you care about most. And welcome to our non-spoiler, hopefully, hot take on WandaVision Episode 6, titled All New Spooktacular. It just dropped this morning. And we want to talk about it because this show is, it's accelerating fast. All right, I am your host, Doc Rotten, and joining me, of course, tonight is the award-winning filmmaker, Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I feel like every Friday morning now feels like Christmas. I don't know about you. It's like opening a present and not knowing what you're going to get. And this is what this whole WandaVision series has been like every Friday. So I always look forward to being able to talk about it.
Absolutely. After, what, a month and a half or 2 months of Mandalorian, now this.
Yeah, but there's more mystery here. This is like it's not really a murder mystery, but there's this mystery that keeps revealing itself little by little. And we can sit here and like have all the crazy ideas in the world, and then we get to sort of see it play out, and you're like, oh no, and then you're like, where's it going to go from here? And this episode is no different.
No kidding. Thank you, Disney Plus, and thank you, Marvel and Marvel Cinematic Universe, whatever the heck you are, Marvel movies. It's incredible. All right, so let's just jump into it. We're talking about WandaVision Episode 6. This is our hot take. It is February 12th, 2021, Disney Plus, of course. It's the Halloween episode, which is really just hits me in the soft spot because I love those episodes. And we also get homage with the pictures to the classic costumes for Scarlet Witch, Vision, and even a little bit of Quicksilver down there, which was hilarious. Small spoiler there, but you knew it was coming. Just seeing them in these costumes made the show. I mean, that's all I had to do was see that, and it would have been my favorite one. It just is, because I love those costumes, and I love that they were able to do them, but without being corny, because it is corny, right? Because it's Halloween. You get away with it. Love it.
Well, and they do a lot of jokes in service of those cheesy costumes.
They do. Yeah, they do. They do. It's like a fortune teller, right? It was so sweet. It was so sweet and so awesome. Loved it. Of course, there's other costumes as well. I think you were like in Herb's costume.
Yeah, he had this sort of Frankenstein with like the high top hair. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, and you know, for those that have been watching this series from the beginning, you know, we have this separate world from the real world, and Halloween is always a night where that layer between real people and spirits happens, and that works really well for the series, especially for what happens in this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this episode. Of course, we get a lot of action in the WandaVerse or whatever that is, in Westview, and of course outside. A lot of things take place. We're going to really get into all the skinny and the details early next week when we have the entire crew here, and we're going to do our full reaction and take, and we'll get into the spoilers there. So we're going to try to keep mum's the word. We've dropped a couple hints here, nothing too spoilery, because some stuff goes down. Some stuff goes down.
Stuff happens. That's all I'm going to say. Stuff happens.
But it is yet another great episode. I don't know. It really might be my favorite one. Now, the intro. Let's talk about the intro, because you brought that up in the pre-show. One of the more entertaining things of it is each episode, except one, has been a decade. And a sitcom, and of course this is the 90s. And what do we get? We
get a little Malcolm in the middle, or Wanda in the middle, I guess is more appropriate. But yeah, they really, from the this isn't spoilery, but you know, their like show intro is very Malcolm in the middle. You know, the breaking the fourth wall a little bit is Malcolm in the Middle. So, and even Pietro's this version is the annoying older brother.
Yes.
So yeah, it definitely works into that, plays into a lot, and I do love how the intros, it's like a normal series intro, but then they always throw like the abilities of WandaVision into it, which is very funny. And then also I think it's a funny bit involving Agnes in the intro, but you'll have to see it to know what I'm talking about, because it also has double meaning as well. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. It's a great intro. It's Billy and Tommy are featured. We get more of them. We get more of Westview as the show goes on. We get to see a lot more. You will see a lot more of Westview in this episode, and you will like what you see. You will question what you will see. It will boggle your mind. It is so much fun.
Well, and I think also it also shows the darker aspect of what's happening as well. And I think that's because there's I keep wanting to say something, but yeah, there's elements that show you that in order to create a perfect world, sometimes other people may have to suffer because of it. So I think that's an interesting thing about this series is, but yeah. And then also we get sort of like this isn't spoilery, but I'm really starting to hate director Hayward.
Yes.
I really hate him a lot.
We do get some Hayward movement in his story arc, as well as the other three, Jimmy Woo and Darcy and Monica. They're all in here. Well, what happens there is fun. We move a little closer to some of the mysteries that they're following and chasing. Here's something to think about. There's clowns. Just think about that. It's not spoiling, but there's clowns.
Well,
all right. Well, there's our first take. What is your final word on our first take for WandaVision? Because I talked a lot.
Well, I think we're now getting into this mode where we're some people liked the TV show aspect of it, and other people liked the behind the scenes aspect of it, and now we're sort of getting this meld between the two that kind of works,
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're doing a really great job of still paying homage and tribute to TV shows of that time period and those type of characters, but also integrating the darker elements, the more serious elements, and also revealing a little bit more. I think for those people who have certain ideas of how this is going to play out, this episode may reveal a little bit more that plays into that. Mm-hmm. I think, and also it adds a whole more questions to things as well. Yeah. There's certain things that happen. You're like, oh no, what's going to happen now? But yeah, I really like this episode. It gets very suspenseful. And then it almost has that moment where you're like, oh, I have to wait till next week.
Yes, you have to wait till next. Yes, and let's just say Jimmy Woo. All right, Jimmy Woo. Pay attention to the dialogue this episode. There is a lot that's subtly there. So pay attention, as you will. The past 5 episodes, as you have been doing. Continue to do that, and then join us next week when we get into all the spoilers, all the details. And Vanessa and Slapman join us for that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, we start to see that, like, yeah, something's definitely wrong with Wanda.
Yes, but there's something underneath that.
There's something underneath that. And I kind of want to know, and even I'll be quiet.
Well, join us. All right. Thank you for joining me, Christopher. And thank you for joining us for this hot take. I hope you enjoyed us just babbling about our excitement for this episode. Let us know down below if you want to see more of these. If you really enjoy us and you want to help us out, it's really easy to do. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, or even better, share with a friend. Really easy to do. If you want to get a little bit more involved, you can, like I said, leave comments. You can hit the like button. We also want to take a quick moment to thank our patrons, without who we wouldn't be able to do not only Heroes and Droids, but the Horror News Radio, Decades of Horror, and the Gruesome Magazine podcast.
They're the true superheroes in this universe.
They are. They're gruesome heroes is what we call them, or the Gru heroes. We don't call them.
They allow us to create the vision that is gruesome and Heroes and Droids.
Thank you. All right, let's say good night.
Good night.